Hello Factorio people, welcome back to the broadcast from Krastorio. Episode 22. For the first time, I feel like the end is in sight. There is a bit of light there at the end of that tunnel. 5,400 science cards per minute seems eminently achievable. I don't know quite how much longer, but it can't be that much longer, surely. If you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe for me, that would be super good. But we'll jump straight into it, shall we? You join me in the skeleton of the starter base today. We tore it down, served us extremely well, but it was time for it to go. And that's where we left off in the last episode. Just let the bots deal with all of this for a long time. And now we can go through and delete all the power poles and the roboports to just finally tidy this up. The mall is going okay. I still need to build the rest of the black concrete. But the starter base has gone. Whatever that means for us. So today we're going to continue to work through... I need to whitelist this now. Today we're going to continue to work through just bits of the megabase that we need to make sure that we have all the production ready for all the science we want to create. See what problems arise from that. So while I work my way through clearing all of this space out, we'll also look at anything from the mall that has become an issue. Because we're going to need the mall to do a lot of building for us going forwards. The mall works quite well, I feel like. Just bring in some things on trains, bring in some sulfuric acid, some nitric acid, some lubricant. You only need lubricant to make blue belts, but you need to make a lot of blue belts, so you better get that sorted. I also added a crusher with a requester chest here and tidied up certain things. No more basic inserters, thank you very much. Get rid of some stuff that we know for a fact we will never ever need again. Small electric poles, wooden chests, stone furnaces, steel furnaces. Just throw it all in the crusher. Some stuff you get back things, but mostly everything else that's not on this list, everything that's not an inserter, stone, raw immosite crystals just turns into nothing. But that's good for getting rid of stuff. Some concrete production. Here's where the modules live for now. Just a simple circuit condition to insert construction robots or logistics robots should we need that. Not that there are any logistics robots here, but there should be plenty of robot frames, I believe. There's some robot frames. I don't see us needing to add more logistics bots, but we've got some robot frames should we need to. As for silicon and glass, which you don't need in vast quantities, I'm going to just make them via matter. I'm just going to put a row of matter assembly plants here, matter assemblers, to get things that we don't actually have. Glass, stone, immosite powder we don't ever put in a train. Immosite powder is made on site, but you need immosite powder for pollution filters. And various things like that. But anything that goes on a train, obviously, we can bring in via the mall. So that's good. Speaking of pollution, pollution update. Yes, the pollution mass is shrinking from the south for sure. So as long as we keep on top of it and it doesn't ever expand outside of the square, we're mostly good. I do want a long-term plan for it, but as I say, that's a long-term plan. So now that we got this sorted, a few things pop up here and there with them all. Oh, I forgot to bring in this. Oh, I forgot to bring in that. Oh, this chest doesn't request enough of something. But for the most part, it's fine. Nothing causes a humongous problem. So that's good. So now we got that sorted, we can look at carrying on with the builds. And I cannot remember for the life of me what we're going to do next. So let's find out. Welcome to my design area. I kept having to do substations every single time, and I thought I'll just make a column for designing space in. And as you can see, it's going to be red circuits. Advanced circuits. Advanced circuits needs a lot of electronic circuits, green circuits. So you may as well make those on site. May as well. You can get about 70 from one of these. I mean, I could beacon this more, but kind of limited by how much matter you can get from... And I'm not going to enrich these either, of course. Like, we've established that enriching is good. But it's by no means the be-all and end-all. You'll also see here I'm making slightly more of an effort to put efficiency modules into beacons as and when I feel that that is a good idea. You can see over there on the right hand side that we've already gotten this down to its -80 threshold. So this will only actually consume 10 megawatts for the most part. 10 or 11 with some rounding. Whereas this one that we have to have fully beaconed to get as much copper ore out of it as we can is going to use 663 megawatts. So that's quite a big difference. It's mostly because obviously adding singularity beacons increases energy consumption by 105%. So this is on energy consumption plus 1,270%. Whereas this one only has, it's only affected by 4 beacons. 8 speed beacons. Speed modules in 4 beacons. So we can get the decent energy consumption ratio down. It's I mean, it's not nothing. Is it? I'm not even sure it's obvious on here. I think it's just one of those things that you may as well. You may as well. The less matter you have to put into your matter assembly plants, the better. And we're still only on that one module of antimatter reactors, with capacity to go up to 178 gigawatts, did that say? Yeah. So you may as well. Modules are very easy and cheap in Krastorio too. I mean, they're not super cheap, of course, but they're considerably cheaper than vanilla, so you may as well. You may as well. Anyway, so this is red circuits. You just have to repurpose the green circuit production, which also means we need to put greenhouses somewhere, but of course wood is free, so... Let's find a nice, convenient position for this in the base, shall we? Over here. Over here seems nice. So this will do you 24,000 advanced circuits. I'm still umming and ahhing about whether loading with the loaders is good versus unloading with the loaders. I know that unloading with the loaders is not great. The way it works is that the loader seems to have to check every single tick, the entire contents of the warehouse, to know what to output. Whereas with loading, I'm not sure why it would need to do that. Surely it would just need to look at an empty space. But I have it on good authority that unloading via a loader, yeah, it has to check the entire Has to check every single one of the 500 slots every single time it thinks about removing something. I guess that's why they're called loaders and not unloaders, am I right, folks? Am I right? Okay, so this works very well. Matter in... I could have done the electronic components on site as well, because this does need about 4 belts of this. But I think it's fine. Adding the electronic components to the design would have been a bit yikes, I think. Because you would have also needed all of this, and it needs the matter stabilizers. So, you know, we're going to need... I'm not sure we will need 3 of these in the end, because I do think there's something else when I make the electronic components on site a bit later in this episode. So 1 of 3 may be a bit much, so if we only have 1 or 2 of these, that's okay. I don't have any problems with these trains moving around. So the second one of these I might put closer to this first one, and when I copy and paste this one, I might put this, you know, somewhere over here, just so that the travel time is not quite so high. So that's good. And so then the reason I did advanced circuits is because outside of any thing that needs to go to the mall, all of your advanced circuits go into processing units. So let's maybe look at that, maybe. I can't quite remember. Nope. It turns out what I looked at next was getting more modules for some reason. The module build was good. I kept finding myself switching what I wanted the assembly machines to be doing. Because you may remember I had 2 rows of module production. And sometimes I had them both set to speed, sometimes I had one set to efficiency and one set to speed. Sometimes I would get paranoid that I was going to run out of productivity modules, so I set one to productivity modules and one to speed, and I thought, this is ripe for a redesign now. Now that we've got electronic circuits and electronic components sorted in high quantities, we may as well sort that out. And then using the advanced assembly machines, we can make, in theory, if we need them, 20 a minute. 20 a minute, that's crazy. The old build, I believe, was at 5 a minute for like the longest time. Module 3's 10 a minute. I mean, you can see here over the 50-hour graph, we were making speed modules pretty consistently, 10 a minute for hours at a time. And then, yeah, I thought, oh, I need some productivity modules. Oh, wait, no. Orange is green. Woob, if you're listening, assign every item its own colour so that when it draws the graph, it can pick that colour first. So, and you can use that in other ways as well. So if you say if you say speed modules are blue, then on the chart it will pick blue. You could also use that for train colouring, if you wanted to. If the train has more than half of an item in it and it has one colour. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I know it says, oh, assign items colours, but anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. I mean, it must be more complicated than that, of course, because like if you have this graph, then suddenly you've got 3 things that are blue, but I'm not the only one to complain about that, I'm sure, because when you look at the cards never line up. It's different in vanilla, because the vanilla colours are... Anyway, modules. I end up adding a small circuit condition to these inserters to have a baseline of modules that I want. I think I settle on 25,000 speed, 5,000 efficiency and 5,000 productivity. That should be okay, as we've established in very big builds. So if we take the low density structure one for example, 3,000 speed modules, but only 660 efficiency and 440 productivity, so you need about 5 or 6 times as many speed modules as a hard and fast rule, I guess. Let's walk over to the mall, see if I hadn't made any more mall changes. No, the mall is the same. Okay, so with that out of the way, with that extreme distraction out of the way, I suppose we can look at processing units. Processing units is another thing that needs sulfuric acid because, of course, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this. I like that it fits in a grid section a little bit more neatly than something else. I don't like the fact that we have to ship in quite a lot of advanced circuits. Just over 3 purple belts of advanced circuits. And the only thing we're adding to that is the rare metals, which is much lower quantities. To get the processing units out. So there's a chance I do try and integrate this into the red circuit build. But I'm not 100% sure yet. This one is on the list of things to maybe look at. But nevertheless, this works well. I will need to change these to 1-4 trains. These were still on 1-2 trains, but it does work well. That's my big worry at the moment, is train throughput. I'm trying to think of all I can to minimise train throughput. But I also feel like I may be over worrying about it. Like, we do have a pretty robust train network going on here. Inserters are very fast. Stack sizes are generally higher across the board. I'm not sure if it will be a problem. But still, okay. I'm going to... We're sort of in the bit now where a lot of the builds will end up going back into the grid. I am going to tidy this up. I do have a plan for tidying this up. Because of course we still need to copy and paste. Rocket fuel needs to go in 2 more places. Low density structures need to go in 3 more places. Electronic circuits, I think I need to relook at whether I need more of these. I don't think I do. If I'm making electronic circuits on site for red circuits, I'm not, as I say, I'm not sure. Sorry, I suddenly realise I sound quite stuffy, don't I? Sorry. Okay. So we're making good headway. How's the matter situation doing? The matter is good. Matter is good. It gets to the point soon where I actually am making too much matter. I believe. Because every now and then is sort of like a treat. As a treat to myself, I do another matter design. You know, like, I don't know if this was always here, can't remember. But after, you know, doing a processing unit design or something like this, not that this was very hard at all, but I try and break things up by doing one of this and then add some matter to the base. One of this, add some matter to the base. Alright, let's move on. Here I am in the mall. I added some wire conditions to my module storage section so that I could just hover over this substation and see. I know you can press L to get your logistics network up, but I'm not sure why there's not an easier way. Like, you have to press L, you have to press search, you have to press module 3, and then you get everything that you would get just by hooking up some wires and doing this. There we go. Okay, what I want to do is something a bit silly. But now that we're not making any more basic inserters, and we have definitely gone through all of the old ones from the base, I want to get this upgrade planner and just double check that we don't have any still lying around. And we do, we have loads, because I've not been very consistent with what I want my inserters to do. So I thought, oh, I'll use yellow inserters for train fuel because these don't need to work very fast or very often. All of these have yellow inserters, which is why this is only a red belt, because a yellow inserter can't pick up from a purple belt. It's not fast enough. Doesn't act fast enough. This one's a blue one for some reason. You know, like, there's absolutely no consistency. And now that I'm not making the inserters, I was finding that when I was copying and pasting some things, I would get complaints about, you don't actually have any yellow inserters, mate. So, like, I can't just copy and paste the pollution filters down, because I don't have any yellow inserters left in the base now. Speaking of which, basically the same. Basically the same. So yes, here's an upgrade planner. Burner inserters, I'd be surprised if we have any burner inserters. Superior inserters, regular inserters, superior inserters, long superior inserters, filter superior inserters. And then of course there is a long superior filter inserter, but you never need to, you can't have an upgrade planner for this because there's no associated vanilla loader with that. So what do you reckon, folks? 1,700 yellow inserters. Most of that is in the pollution filter stuff. 319 fast inserters, 95 filter inserters. There you go, that should keep you busy for a while, bots. Off they go. Okay. So I get a bit distracted. Not that that's a shock. I get a bit sidetracked by doing something that I don't need to do, and I'll tell you the story because it's funny. Because I thought, oh, nitric acid. I never looked at nitric acid, did I? So I started looking at nitric acid, and then I looked at Factorio calculator, and I was like, wow, most of nitric acid, 95+%, needs to go into imersite crystals. So I'll just make imersite crystals. I'll just make the nitric acid where the imersite crystals need to go. That'll be fine. Started designing that. Started panicking about how many imersite crystals I was going to need. Oh my god, this is going to be a nightmare. And then I had this feeling in the back of my mind. I was like, I feel like I've done something like this before. I feel like I've done something like this. And then I was looking at, oh, nitric acid on site, you need to make ammonia, you need some mineral water to come in. So then when I was looking at how much ammonia I would need, and I was thinking, but I thought I'd done ammonia somewhere, hadn't I? I'm sure I put down a whole bunch of atmospheric condensers to make ammonia. Where was that? Let me look at that so I can get the ratio. So I'll go over here to look at the ratio of how much these are making. And I'm like, oh, this is exactly the same, that's good. Oh wait, because this is making the ammonia and the mineral water. Oh wait, this is the imersite crystals already. I've already done it. Done it before. And honest to God, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I spent half an hour redesigning this in my design area before realising I'd already done it. So I don't need to do nitric acid, it turns out. This is nitric acid. Make the nitric acid on site. The other things you need nitric acid for, this is more than enough for that. This is fine. The other things nitric acid go into are, I want to say biomass? AI cores. Empty antimatter fuel cells will make those into more fertilizer, and nitric acid and the biomass make the fertilizer. So you need a bit of nitric acid for any wood production that you're going to do, and the rest of it is just more stuff. So that was silly. I am a silly man. But at least now we can look at AI cores, right? Am I right? Easy. Easy life. Very simple. Processing units, imersite crystals, nitric acid in, AI cores out. and you only need 4,158 of these a minute. Well, you need even less than that, really, but this is what this makes, so this is good. So having learnt my lesson, supposedly, I thought I need a way to know. So I've done a simple list down here using tags. This is a nice little trick that you can use. So here are the 6 science cards and what we need. I've labelled it as done if I have a design for it that I can just copy and paste. If I have a design that I'm happy with, that I know works, and I can just copy and paste that down, I've labelled it as done. So I know we don't literally make enough rocket fuel or low density structures to supply 5,400 of these, but we can copy and paste it. It's a 5-second job to copy and paste it. It might be an hour job to build it, to make sure the mall has enough stuff to build it, of course. But that's fine. That doesn't concern you. That's a me problem. You are unconstrained by time, unlike me. So uranium is done. We're probably going to need to copy and paste this. Where is it? Where is it? It's gone. We're going to need to copy and paste this another 2 times. The other 2 won't need to worry about Covarex or making nuclear fuel. We will need to then therefore find out what to do with the uranium-235 that comes out of this process, but again, not a huge issue. I'll make the red belts for the cards on site, and I've labelled this as make on site, and I decide that that is wrong. So I'm going to actually ship these in. So I'm going to make a module that does prods. Yellow tech cards are done. We have done this. Space science we did the satellites ages ago, if you remember. If you remember, when we went through all the rigmarole of doing the solar panels and the accumulators and the radars all in one space, we actually scaled this for 5,400 science per minute at the time. So who bloody ray for that? Thank you, past me. Truly are the best. Matter data, we need to do rare metals at some point, but we've done the rest. Advanced tech cards, gonna make the gears on site, but we need to do the immersite plates and the singularity tech cards, the same thing. We just need to do the immersite plates and some matter stabilizer charging. So, this is why I said in the intro that it actually feels eminently possible that we're going to get this done. There really is not a huge amount going on here, in my opinion. By sensibly starting with the hardest tasks, we have left ourselves with not too much to do. So, that being said, let's look at productivity module once. I'm super happy with this, folks. Alright. Super happy with this. This makes all the productivity modules you would need. You need a lot. And to make productivity modules you need electronic components and electronic circuits. And I thought, well, this would be a really good opportunity to put my money where my mouth is and not ship in anything. Just not ship in anything at all. So I repurposed the electronic component build that we used, because I know for a fact that this outputs 1 belt of electronic components very easily. That just had a red light on it and now I'm concerned. It's fine. 4 of these at speed 33.75 each will consume exactly 1 purple belt. of electronic components and half a belt of electronic circuits. And I know that the other build that we did for electronic circuits, each lane made exactly one belt. So I just cut it in half, stuck it on the top, put some greenhouses down. I thought, don't really need to worry about fertilizer for this. It doesn't need a huge amount, like, fertilizer doubles the greenhouse production, right? So this, I knew this made enough wood for the 8 belts of electronic circuits, so I could just halve it. So all I did was I just bring the water in. And then there's 2 matter cube plants here. Repurpose the matter stabilizers. Ah, these are not charging fast enough. That's probably why we got some red and blue lights going on over here. Is that just a backlog? I think that's just a backlog. I think that's just a backlog. I don't think that's actually a problem. This makes 27.72 and this can charge 22. No, it is a problem. Okay, I do need to fix that then. But that's an easy fix. That's a very easy fix. Oh, the substation's a pain. I'm surprised I didn't notice that. Oh, I was just tooting my own horn about how good this was. And yeah, this gets from matter stabilizers and matter cubes in. So you just put those 2 things in and you get a whole bunch of productivity module 1s out. Pretty good, in my opinion. And that lives over here by the rocket fuel. So definitely one of 3 of this is now wrong. And that's also why I'm pretty confident that one of this is now correct. So that wasn't too bad. And this, the benefit of doing this in-lane build style is that you can just repurpose it. Oh, I need 1 belt of green circuits for something. There you go, 1 belt of green circuits from matter. So get me the flipping to-do list. Done. Blank tech cards. I was a bit concerned about this when I was thinking about it, because for every tech card that you make, you need a blank tech card. That's not strictly true because of productivity bonuses, but I thought, well, that's quite a lot of blank tech cards to go around the base, isn't it? How many? Ooh, let's find out. Kind of a lot, but not an insane amount. Not bad. Again, just bring the matter in. I could enrich the copper and the iron, I suppose, but then it wouldn't. I don't think it would fit as nicely in a grid section. Well, it definitely wouldn't fit as nicely in a grid section. So, I'm just going to do it like this. I haven't come up with a hard and fast rule for when I'm going to enrich the ores and when I'm not going to enrich the ores. I really don't know. I'm hoping this doesn't come back to bite me. By not enriching, I guess I'm just saying I'm going to use more matter. How much more matter, I don't know. I haven't run the numbers on that. So this is fine. This is okay. So we'll just copy and paste this somewhere else in the base. Have probably four trains running around, put each of these on a train limit of 2, have one train here waiting, 4 trains going around to 6. Should be more than enough. Pollution update. I did another one of these over here because I was just, you know, worried about the eastward spread. Because the numbers were a lot lower generally anyway. So when I first put these down, they took a long time to get going because these pollution numbers were in the 6,000–7,000s. You know, if you look over, find a point where it's probably the furthest away from any pollution filters. Yeah, 4,000, 4,800, 5,500, 7,000. That's right above the low density structure thing. You know, a lot of this in here was like 7,000 when we very first started this endeavour. But having left all of these filters running for a very long time, integrating these into the system, that meant that the numbers around the edges were considerably lower, so this hasn't taken anywhere near as long to get these numbers down to 0. And this will just continue to hoover the pollution up. You can already see here, this line here where it's being sucked in is considerably less pollution than here and here. So we should be okay. Should be okay. Whoops, I pressed F5, my debug hotkey, when I meant to press M. Okay. Electric engines is next on the list, is it not? Well, not literally, but it's the thing I thought I would look at next. Shouldn't be that bad. Shouldn't be that bad. Things start to go a bit wrong here, which is a shame, because we were doing so well today, I feel like. Doing so well. This will make all the electric engine units you need. Relatively easily. Just make some iron. Make some engine units. Bring in some green circuits. And then bring in some lubricant. And once again, the flippin' petroleum process has done me dirty. Because of the way we've set up this sulfuric acid build here and repurposed the lubricant, if you're not making sulfuric acid, you're not making lubricant. Because if you're not making sulfuric acid, then you're not making petroleum. If you're not making petroleum, you're not getting heavy oil out of your oil refineries. So you're not getting any lubricant. You could assume that once the 5,400 science per minute base is up and running, that this sulfuric acid plant will be running a lot of the time, so it will be fine. I didn't want to go that route. It seems ripe for disaster. And it also means that nothing will now work until everything works, which is not the way I want to do things. I want things to be working now. And the fact that we're now not making any electric engine units, or at least we won't make any electric engine units until something needs sulfuric acid, it just seemed wrong to me. So I started going down the jank tank about what we could do. Or I could make some of the... I could siphon off the petroleum into solid fuel and use the solid fuel for something. I could burn off the petroleum. That seems exceedingly wasteful. Could burn off the sulfuric acid. No, that also, you know, I've spent so long complaining about sulfuric acid, how much sulfuric acid we're going to need to then turn around and just burn it off when you don't need it. No, thank you. Not even sure you can put sulfuric acid in a flare stack, actually. I think you can. I think you can put any fluid in a flare stack, but I've never done it. So where do you get the most heavy oil from? Everybody knows this. It's coal liquefaction. Coal liquefaction is net positive heavy oil. It takes 25 in, you get 90 out, and you get some light oil and some petroleum gas. So I thought that would be okay. Just find something to do with the 20 light oil and the 10 petroleum gas. And I went, I spent so long, got so distracted. It was Friday night, I don't leave the house, don't do anything. You know what, you know me, folks. I put some tunes on, I got super into the idea of powering a coal liquefaction plant by like a self-sustaining coal liquefaction plant. So the light oil and the petroleum gas that comes out, you turn that into solid fuel, you burn the solid fuel to make steam, you use some of the steam in the coal liquefaction, you use the rest of the steam to power turbines that power the coal liquefaction process. Yes, I'm talking about a perpetual motion machine in Minecraft. In Factorio. Why did I say Minecraft? I don't play Minecraft. And I spent so long. And it's very difficult. Because you have to tune it. Like, as soon as you have too much power, then you don't use all the solid fuel. As soon as you don't have enough power, you don't have enough solid fuel. Because the machines slow down. You get into brownout states. Because then suddenly you're making less and less petroleum because power's going down. It was extremely difficult. And I just could not get it to work. I really wanted it to work because I thought it would be super cool to just have a self-sustaining coal liquefaction plant that outputted lubricant for free, endlessly. I thought about maybe using accumulators, charging accumulators, and then only burning solid fuel when the accumulators needed charging. But then you would have a backlog of solid fuel, and then if your lab for solid fuel wasn't using the petroleum, then the heavy oil would back up, and I couldn't do it. Somebody smarter than me could do it, of course they could. I couldn't do it. But I'll show you what I did come up with. This will make enough excess heavy oil. 33,000 net heavy oil per minute to turn into enough lubricant for the entire base. This will make enough lubricant for the electric engine unit build, and has a little bit extra for the mall to make blue belts, should you need it. I'm full of it. At one point I was having a machine. I was having one of those pointless water pump machines, you know, one assembly machine fills water barrels, another one empties water barrels, just to get power going, just so that the solid fuel was always being used. As I say, I couldn't get it to work. So this is just plugged into the main power supply, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn the excess petroleum into sulfur, and we're going to ship that sulfur to the sulfuric acid plant, and we will prioritize use of that sulfur over this sulfur. So now we don't make lubricant here at all. The only thing this does is turns sulfur, iron plates and water into sulfuric acid. So if none of this process needs to work because this has sulfur on it, we just have a belt condition here that says don't pump more petroleum into the sulfur lab if there's sulfur backed up here. And that's considerably easier. Where am I? Lost. That's considerably easier because this won't even make that much sulfur. This generates, according to my calculations, 202 petroleum per second. Per second? Per second. And this can consume an obscene amount of petroleum. Wait. No, it's exactly scaled. It's exactly scaled for the petroleum. So we'll just output this into its own specific sulfur overflow system to just bring the excess sulfur down. This was the best I could come up with. Which is still quite good, because that does take some of the pressure off of the sulfuric acid plant. But even then, not even that much, you know? Like this chews through sulfur. But this is at least foolproof, you know? If you don't need lubricant, you're not making the sulfur. If you're not making the sulfur, this will still be carrying on. If you've got sulfur to get through, this will prioritise that sulfur. You're no longer beholden to using the sulfur to make the lubricant. You will get both. Or either, or neither. Or all three. What? Oh, my flippin' personal train is causing problems. I came over here to fix the pollution filters things because I realised I built this and I never seeded the system with water, so it was not actually washing any of the pollution filters. Which also explains why my mall was continuing to make pollution filters even though this should be a closed loop of pollution filters. So now we have loads of pollution filters, but that's okay. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to also put another lot of it over here. Again, this is what made me realise that I hadn't seeded the system with water, because I seeded this system with water and was like, oh wait, I never did that over there. I don't know what I'm going to do with pollution going forwards. A part of me wants to build a big wall around the base. Now that we know that we're not going to need much more space than this, I could build a wall, like, get the Spidertrons to build a wall, like, maybe around this much. And then just have the pollution filters over there instead. Maybe. That makes quite a large logistics network that I don't really want to have to deal with. Of course, my long-term plan was to always just turn pollution off with a command line. And every time I make a build and I'm like, oh, maybe this will be the thing that pushes my updates per second below 60, and it never does. So, oh, excuse me, sir. This is because this train has loads of advanced additional electric engine units. I am going to do this for all of the trains in the base. I just need to find a good way to do it. I'm thinking I will probably colour the trains when I've done it, so that I can have a quick glance around, or I'll press O. We only have 113 trains. Maybe it won't take that long to just go through every single train. But it probably will. Because the additional acceleration from these advanced electric engine units is not to be understated. And then all you have to do is put a Tesla coil down at your stations. Give each train a battery. Where do I live? Here, this is where I live. This is exaggerated, of course, because this isn't carrying anything. But the extra acceleration is certainly would save a lot of time over the course of several hundred hours. You just do this. But it makes a horrible noise, of course. But it's fairly easy. It's fairly low maintenance. I don't know how much energy this actually uses. Why have I gone into the production filter for this? Each one of these uses about 5 megawatts, so maybe that would add up over time, I don't know. Okay. Good. I think. Probably? Yeah, good, definitely. No, good, definitely. We're definitely good. Electric engine units, officially now done. So now that we can get lubricant sorted, we can do this. This is one of one. I'm sorry, I didn't put these down, did I? This is one of one. This makes 4,000. Yeah, 4,082, which is enough to feed. Electric engine units need to go into advanced tech cards, if you recall. So, done. So it's rare metals, which will naturally feed into plates, because rare metals go into immensite plates. And then we can start actually doing science builds for 5,400 science per minute, a lab build for 5,400 science cards a minute, and then it'll just be a case of copying and pasting the modules down that aren't keeping up. We're almost there. I dare say we're almost there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment. And if you want to see more success, if you want to see more Krastorio, be sure to subscribe. Other than that, thank you so much. Take care. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.